Mattson has a locker in there. Is there a corresponding move? Is he here on taxi? Do you guys know?
Yeah, so the intent is to call Isaac Mattson up for tonight, and Colin Holderman will go on the IL with, he had right thumb inflammation and pain in his thumb area.
Is that a 60-day or 15-day?
No, 15.
Okay, so there's still
yeah, we're working through a corresponding roster move. Need to talk to some players first before we can announce that.
Okay.
Donnie, how much do you know about Isaac, like his background and what he's been able to do?
Yeah, unbelievable, and getting to know him last year when he was up, and then this year in spring, and, had a baby in spring training, came back, and I don't know if any of you were there, and when we played the Yankees, really came back and dominated, and he's carried that over into from spring training into the season, and, really good extension, good life to his fastball, and has been pitching really well down there, so looking forward to having him up here.
Is Holderman's injury something that kind of surfaced yesterday? Is that something he's kind of been battling for?
I think he's been battling it for a little while and reared its head yesterday.
We just saw Todd walk out. Is there an update on Jared? We know he was meeting with Meister today.
Yeah, no update yet on, we were talking through all the Holderman, Mattson, and corresponding with that one, but as soon as we have an update on that, I'm sure he'll let you know.
Johnny, what have you noticed about Canario, his at-bats? He's swinging a pretty hot bat this month.
He has. He's been doing a great job, barreling balls up, and, you see the power to all fields. Yesterday, that line drive to left, and he's shown that he can go to the opposite gap as well, and he's having really good at-bats.
How much of that do you think is just by nature of getting more consistent at-bats lately?
Yeah, I think it's a byproduct of that, getting more consistent at-bats, and a byproduct of the work that he's putting in as well. I mean, he's out there every day, hitting and in the cage, doing the things that he needs to do, and working with the hitting coaches to continue to get better.
Ever since you took over, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, the at-bats and opportunities for Canario kind of ticked up. Was it one of your intents here to kind of give him a long sample size?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it was a byproduct of a lot of different things, but it's worked out that he's gotten some opportunity and he's ran with it, and credit goes to him for the work that he's put in and how he's been able to capitalize on that and put it together on the field, which has been really good.
Has he opened your eyes in areas maybe that you didn't think that?
Yeah, I think in few ways, I think we see the power in BP, but to see it translate into the game has been really impressive, and also his defensive work he's gotten better out there in the outfield too. Played some center and some left, and to see him moving around and making the plays that he's been able to make has been good.
So try to find room for him, I guess.
Yeah, continuing to see him out there and try to get the other guys in as well.
With Cruz not being in the lineup yesterday, is he still kind of working through that back issue, or?
Yeah, that was the intent. We felt like coming back off playing 2 games there in Philly with the travel, coming back home, and then it was with Lodolo on the mound. I mean, Cruz obviously is going to play against left-handers. We just felt like getting him back off of that back, it was a good day just to give him a little blow too and let him rest up, and he's back in there today.
What has he been struggling with, and how much of it maybe was rust?
O'Neal?
Yeah.
I think that was probably the biggest thing, getting those 5-6 days off and then coming back. I think we talked about when you come back off of that rest and then you face Wheeler and Abel. They were both firing it up there, high 90s. Tough to keep your timing regularly, and then you face Vila like that. I think it was tough. But I thought his swings in Philadelphia that last day were more fluid, and he looked better to me. I know it was 4 strikeouts, but it looked more explosive and more fluid, and he had a good day of work yesterday.
The offense has been struggling for the better part of the season, but especially the last month. What are you guys doing differently in terms of hitting preparation or the lineup, or what are you trying to do to kind of throw a wrench into it and try to get a spark going?
Yeah, so from a hitting standpoint, the challenge that Matt and the hitting coaches are giving the guys is more targeted work of what they're going to see that night and the different things that they individually need to do better. It's not just going in the cage and hitting off a tee and doing flips and going through the motions. There's targeted work with each individual guy on what they need to work on in order to get better, and they all have different things that some guys struggle with the high fastball and the velo, some guys with sink, and they're working on those different shapes, some guys with off-speed stuff that they need to get better at. So just there's individual plans with each guy when they go into the cage and out onto the field that they're working on to try to get better and match shapes to what we're going to see that night from the pitcher that's coming in.
Is a lot of that trajectory?
There's traject work, yeah, the guys are doing every single day, not solely. You know, there are guys that use that, but then there are other guys that do all kinds of different drills to get them prepared.
How much do you find that if your bottom of your order is struggling, it puts pressure on the top of the order, or if the top of the order is struggling, it's hard for the bottom of the order to get going? They seem to be a bit out of sync.
Yeah, both. You know, everybody in the lineup feels it. And like we talked about before, they all want to be the guy that comes through with that big base hit. And somebody's going too soon, and we're going to put up some runs, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm sure you've seen the chatter about the stat. I haven't scored more than 4 runs in 24 games. Do you care about stats like that? What's your reaction?
Well, I think it's something that the guys feel, you know, and not getting caught up in the stat per se, but how do we continue to strive for better at-bats in those situations of you get guys in scoring position, continue to strive for a quality at-bat in that situation instead of trying to go up there and, you know, hit a home run. Everybody wants to hit the home run. I had a hitting coach once tell me it's easier to hit a home run trying to hit a single than it is to hit a single trying to hit a home run. So how do we slow that down in that way to, you know, try to square the ball up and allow the power to come? And I think Canario's been a good model for that.
Donnie, how is Matt Haig handling all of this? I mean, you're the new guy in, it's not going well, there's frustrations. What is your advice to him? How is he handling the guys?
Yeah, he cares a lot, and he puts a lot of pressure on himself, but he has done a tremendous job of you know, staying grounded himself. He's a grounded individual. He played, he understands the grind, and he stayed positive with the guys, continuing to work, continuing to focus on that process that we talked about, not getting over emotional with everything, just trying to make sure that each guy knows that he's there for them, that all of our hitting coaches are there for them, and finding plans that are going to help get them better.
How much of this is not necessarily on the hitting coach, because you've changed hitting coaches, but maybe on the players, that they have to take some ownership and have to do it themselves? They kind of have to right this ship.
Yeah, no doubt. And they feel that, they understand that, and they're all, like I said yesterday, yesterday we had 5 guys out for early stuff. They're always working in the cage. Today we had another 4, you know, trying to find that balance of working, doing the stuff that you need to do, and being prepared for the game. And they do. They take it seriously, and they're working hard at it.
First game you had with Gene at the bench yesterday, were there any moments where you turned to him that he did anything, or is he still kind of getting his feet under him?
I think he's still getting his feet under him, but like talking to him the whole game on, you know, different scenarios, and especially as we started to get towards that back part of it, you know, but just the sounding board that he is for me and for the team, and even conversations that he had in here yesterday with a lot of the staff was really, really good.
Anything that he maybe shared in game that you'd be comfortable with sharing that maybe?
We were just talking through some pitching stuff there at the end about, you know, having Bednar and, you know, potentially looking to get Santana in there. These guys haven't pitched too in a few games. I mean, they had 4 days off each, so just talking through different things as far as bullpen usage goes.
Connor Joe is now down the hall with the Reds. Can you talk about the time you spent with him during his tenure here in Pittsburgh, and maybe some of the things you did to help him defensively?
Oh man, boy, I don't know if as much I did to help him. You know, he works his butt off. I can't say enough about the guy, him, who he is, what he stands for, how he worked, and what he meant to not just me, but a lot of the players in the clubhouse, and how he went about it, and just the effort that he put in. He was so consistent every single day, whether it was offensively, defensively. You knew he was always there to work, to get better, and to help the team win. And that's just what he brings every single day. He's an awesome dude.
Donnie, what does it say about Solak that he worked his way back to the big leagues? I mean, basically the last 2 years he was in AAA, and this year too.
Yeah, he earned it, you know. And when he got called up, being able to text him and tell him that he earned this opportunity, and you know, it's tough to do what he went through and to hit 390. You know, with the numbers that he was putting up in AAA, and I know not off to the start that he would like up here, but again, just trying to help him stay within himself and continue to do the things that he did in AAA and not try to do too much.
Is it tough? I mean, toward the end of your career, you went back to AAA and a little bit. How hard is that for a player when you've been in the big leagues to have to take a step back?
Yeah, it is. It's tough to do, but you saw what he was able to do, how he went through it, the numbers he was putting up, and you learn a lot through that experience as well. And you know, really that's where we're at as a team right now. Continue to grind, continue to work, and you know, let the results follow when they will, and hopefully sooner than later.
Donnie,
Mhm.
what, oh, go ahead.
You're coming up on 2 weeks here in this role. How do you feel like you're settling in?
Good. I mean, you're up sometimes, you're down. Like, it's my job to try to stay level with these guys as we go through this, especially through a tough stretch like this, and help them through it and continue to work, which you guys know that we are. We're out there, early work, doing the defense, BP, and continue to stay positive and continue to drive that intent of competing hard every day.
Just getting back to Solai for a second, to your point, I mean, swinging, he's hitting 390 in Indy, just, what's the challenge of a guy like that who has to not only translate that to the big league level, but also do it when he's not getting, not in the lineup every night per se?
Yeah, that's challenging. You know, when you're not in there every day, just trying to find good matchups for him to do that. But he's a pro, you know, in the way that you learn how to do that as well. You know, that was a role I was in, and sometimes what I try to challenge these guys on is, yes, we all want to come up with a big hit, and I would love somebody to go 4 for 4, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. It's probably not going to happen. How do you find a way to help the team win? Is it through defense, base running, getting a guy over, finding a way to get a guy in, you know, find a way every single day to help the team win in some capacity. And it might be being a teammate too. You know, when you're in the clubhouse, on the bench, picking somebody up, how do you find a way to pick somebody else up even if you're not in there?
What's your shooting percentage?
Not good.